We know that weather affects us really, weather really affects all of us, the way we live. And if you have conditions like storm and cyclone, it actually devastates life of few people. It has a very bad effect on the life of few people. Now wind, storm and cyclone are the elements of weather, but these elements are basically due to the air that is around us. We also know that there is a thick blanket of air which surrounds us, and this blanket of air is called atmosphere. So all these changes of wind, storm, cyclone are basically because of the changes that are happening in the air. Now what are these changes? We also know that air around us, it has some weight and it is being pulled by the gravity of the earth, so it exerts a pressure on us, and this pressure is called atmospheric pressure. Actually it is not small amount of pressure, it is a huge amount of pressure, but we do not feel this amount of pressure because it is always around us. We are living in this atmosphere, so we don't feel it. We only feel it when either we go to a very you go up an altitude. In the altitude, then you feel that your ear have a popping kind of a thing. Also when the plane climbs up higher, you suddenly feel that your ears have popped out. So that is when you feel the change in the pressure. Okay, otherwise normally we do not feel this change in the pressure because one, it is always around us, so we are born and with this only, and also the pressure that is inside our body, the blood pressure, balances out the pressure of the air which is around us. So that is why we don't feel this atmospheric pressure. But it is actually a very tremendous amount of pressure, and this pressure is measured by an instrument called barometer. We are not studying about barometer in this chapter, so I just gave you the name of it. It is measured by an instrument called barometer, and also it is measured in a unit which is called Pascal. So that's good enough for you to know that we have atmospheric pressure around us and measured by barometer. The unit of measure, the SI unit in which we measure it is called Pascal. Now wind, cyclone, storm happen because of two properties of air. The first one is air exerts pressure, which is also called atmospheric pressure. And the second property is that air expands on heating. So now we will understand all these properties individually and how they affect the weather conditions, and which leads to the formation of wind, storm and cyclone. The first one, air exerts pressure. See, you don't feel, as I told you, you don't feel this pressure normally in the normal situation, but we do feel the air pressure. Supposedly you are sitting on a bike, on a motorbike, and you are riding at a very high speed. You are going in the opposite direction of the wind. You suddenly feel that push of the wind on your face and you feel it. Okay, so that is when you know that the wind is exerting a pressure on you. Then also, we know it is difficult. If you want to ride a bicycle, it is much easier to ride in the direction of the wind, and it is very difficult to ride in the direction of the opposite direction of the wind, because the wind is again pushing you back. So it is having some kind of a weight, that is why it is pushing you back. Similarly, the sailboats which are there in the sea are using this to to sail into the boats sail into the sea using the phenomena of air pressure. Okay, they only sail when the wind is favorable. Supposedly in middle of the sea, the wind changes its direction. Either the boat also changes its direction, or then otherwise they have to exert mechanical force, like they start rowing the boat at that point of time. Okay, and also the aeroplanes that we see, they also take a lift by using this phenomena of air exerts pressure. We will be learning more about how aeroplanes get this lift when we go further in this chapter, but these are the examples in which you can actually feel that air has some kind of a pressure on us. In normal day-to-day situation, you don't feel this pressure. Like I am standing now, I am not feeling any pressure because it is being balanced by the pressure that is inside my body. But otherwise you feel, in these situations you can feel the pressure that the air applies on us. Okay, now we will perform a simple activity to prove that air exerts pressure. You will take a tin can. The tin can should have a lid. You fill it half with water and heat it till the time the water in it starts boiling and the steam starts coming out. Now when the steam starts coming out, you take it away from the heat and cover it with a lid. So once you have covered it with the lid, you put it under the cold water, and within few minutes or within a minute you will see that the can gets D-shaped as if someone has punched it from outside. This is because when the steam is moving out, it is along with it is expelling whatever air is there in the can. Okay, it is half filled, so there will be some air in it. So when the steam is coming out, the air is also coming out along with it. So after a while, when you take it off from the heat and you cover it up, it is only steam which is remaining in that tin can. And when you put it under cold water, this steam also condenses and it changes back into water, which means there is no air in the tin can. So when there is no air in the tin can, the air from the surrounding area starts to enter into that tin can, and since it cannot enter because the tin can is closed, it exerts the pressure on the outside wall of the tin can, and which causes this reshaping of the tin can. So this proves that air exerts pressure. Now we come to air expands on heating. This is the second property of air. Now this is, you've seen a very common example, a very everyday example in your own houses. When the chapati is being cooked, it will, when you put it on the tawa, after a while you will see that it blows up, it rises up, and this is because the air that is trapped inside that chapati dough, it heats up and it expands, making the chapati also inflate with it. Similarly, a hot air balloon also rises up because the air is heated up, and when it gets heated up, it expands and it takes the balloon also along with it. It makes the balloon rise up. Even in the cake the same thing happens. You put in lots of baking powder which releases carbon dioxide, so that means you create air cavities. When you beat it nicely, you create some air cavities. And when you heat it up, the cake also rises up. When you bake it, you put it under heat, the cake also rises up. The same thing is because the air gets trapped. The trapped air gets heated up and it expands, taking the cake material also along with it, making the cake also rise up. Similarly, you would have noticed that smoke comes out from the chimneys and it goes up. It doesn't come down. Why it doesn't come down? Because the hot air is lighter than normal cold air and it rises up. Some refrigerators always have their freezers on the top because we know that cold air is heavier, it will fall down, and the hot air will rise up. So all these things show that air expands on heating. Now why does the air expand on heating? It expands on heating because when you heat the air, the molecules inside, already in air, the molecules have very less intermolecular forces between them. So when you heat it up, the molecules they vibrate more. Okay, they get more energy, they vibrate more, making the air expand further. Okay, for this you can perform a simple activity. You take a balloon and a bottle. A plastic bottle will also do. Empty plastic bottle. You take the deflated balloon, a balloon which is not blown up, on that plastic bottle, and you put that plastic bottle in a tub which contains hot or boiling water. Now plastic bottle has air in it. So this air will become warm and it will rise up and making the balloon also inflate. You will see that when you put it in hot water, the balloon inflates. Whereas you take out this balloon bag, this bottle with inflated balloon bag, and you put it under cold water, and you will see that the balloon deflates. This is because the cold air becomes heavier and it settles down and the balloon deflates. So these are the two properties of air, that air exerts pressure and air expands on heating, which further lead to these weather phenomena which we will be studying in this chapter. We just understood that warm air is lighter than the cold air, and that means the warm air expands also. So if you it means that the mass of the air remains the same. That means the amount of molecules remain the same, but they spread out. That means the volume of that air increases. See, the volume or the air, that the space that they cover increases, whereas its mass, whatever amount you've put it, let's say you've put 1 kg of air in a place, that will remain the same, but the air will spread to much more distances. So, which also means that there is more space between the molecules of air. Okay, or we can say that the air has become thinner. Now, we have, in scientific terms, we define it as the density. Okay, the density of the air decreases. We don't say that air has become thinner, we say that the density of air has decreased. Density is a quantity which we use for liquids, solids and gases also, which means the amount or the mass of the substance upon the volume or upon the space that it is occupying. So it is, the unit for this is kg per meter cube. Volume is per meter cube. So density is the mass of a substance upon the volume of the substance. It is, the unit for this is kg per meter cube. Now hot air means it is occupying more space. The volume of air has increased. The mass remains the same. You have not increased the molecules of the air, but the distance between them has increased. So mass remains the same, but the volume increases. That means density becomes lesser. So in a hot air, the density of air has become less, or that is why when the density becomes less, the air becomes lighter and it rises up. Whereas in the case of cold air, the volume reduces, the molecules come closer, mass is same. That means the density increases and the air becomes heavier and it settles down. So that's the scientific explanation on the basis of density, that why the warm air expands and why the cold air contracts. Now, how it is related to atmospheric pressure, let us understand that. See, we know that air expands if the temperature rises. That's what we've studied. Air expands if the temperature rises. That is why our roti blows up. That means air molecules move away from each other. If the air molecules move away from each other, that means the air molecules that are putting a pressure on us or putting a weight on us are less in a particular area, in a particular unit area. That means there are less number of air molecules in a given unit area. So less molecules means less molecules pressing against us. So that means when there is less molecules putting a pressure against us, that means less atmospheric pressure. So high temperature always leads to low pressure, low atmospheric pressure. That is how there is a relation between heat and atmospheric pressure, temperature and atmospheric pressure. So this is what we will be covering today, and we will continue with how it affects and how it leads to the formation of windstorms and cycles in the next video.